The tail ender, Ruby Can Run. By the 550 they head, and on the inside it's American Star with Castle Retreat sharing the lead, but now the favourite American Star strides to the lead coming to the corner. Castle Retreat a length off at second. Secret Assault's had a great trip down on the inside for Little Whitten, and then Greco to the outside, Mr Motown, who's covered additional ground, then Excellent Jerry, Disco Riffic and Mr African. Ruby Can Run coming right down the outskirts. American Star still in front though at the 100, but here comes Mr Motown. Mr Motown and Mr African are coming together from Castle Retreat. Mr Motown, Mr African lunging, but it's Mr Motown. Mr Motown, a grand win after being parked deep all the way, beating home Mr African. Now Disco Riffic Festive Star got busy late in front of Greco, Castle Retreat, and towards the outside Ruby Can Run from Excellent Jerry. They were next in. A Gap Ripper Red, Never Likely. Secret Assault pulled up very quickly in the run on and has finished well back in proceedings as we wait for the numbers after the running of the fifth. 59.78 they've run. Mr Motown. $18.05 even. Well, it had no luck. It was sitting out there 3 deep from an awkward gate. A ton of speed drawn inside of it, but with young Molly Clark aboard, it's one from Mr African. A very formal finish here in race 5, and Disco Riffic might be in third placing there as we wait for the numbers. Certainly American Star got the wobbles late. Greco's in the middle. Secret Assault was tracking up on the cutaway but didn't raise a yelp. It's 1, 4, 8, 9. The numbers: Mr Motown, Mr African, Disco Riffic and Greco. After the running of race number 5, it's got a musical bent, the trifecta there. Mr Motown by Oratorio from Steely Gaze, trained by Lindsay Smith, and has produced a cracking run first up with Molly Clark aboard. Owned by I. Wilson, B. Diedrichs, P. Birrell, Mrs. G. Wilson, Tony Patrizzi, Joe Ricciardo. What a good result for Joe. Ron Sayers, the Geisel Park Syndicate, managed by Eddie Rigg. And at 18.5 with M. Clark aboard, beats 4 Mr African by Mutawajid from Swentra for Adam Ferry and Miss E. Hiverinen, trained by Adam Ferry with Ryan Hill in the saddle. 270 a place, and 8 Disco Riffic, the Discorsi's head Riffic mare for David and Jenny Harrison. R. Fuller, B. Correa, M. Orib and G. Mustaka. Mrs. S&D Webster, Benny Patterson took the ride for David Harrison, paying $2.50. A short head, half a length of the margins, 35.19, that last 600 split. Now race 6, the Perth Racing Young Membership Handicap at 4.20 over 1800. 8 Boss the Game's out. Lee Newman rides 4 Trap for Fools. Paul Harvey out of action for the remainder of the day. Race 6, number 4, Trap for Fools, is L. Newman. Okay, let's head down to Adam McGrath, and he's now with the winning trainer Lindsay Smith, who would have been absolutely thrilled to the back teeth with that performance after getting no favours.
You're definitely right there, Darren. Lindsay, Mr Motown, we know this horse has got some form, can continue to put it together, but we don't normally see it at Ascot.
No, his record's not very good here. He's a sort of big striding horse that gets a bit unbalanced around the bend, but maybe being 3 deep may have helped him because his head carriage was a lot better today. So, yes, he balanced him up good, and he was able to hold him off.
Must have done a fair bit of work at home coming in first up, the 57 kilos, no trial, and with some pretty good horses in the field, as was continuing to go all the way through the line.
Actually, he had his first start in the race, he won, and he had a wind up after that, and I used to train him a little bit hard. This time he stayed up at Kalgoorlie with Podge for a while, he won a race or 2, but this time all he's done is gone down the beach. I think he's had 3 gallops along the edge of the beach, and we went in a little bit unknown, but sometimes when they've had a wind up, the less work they have, the better.
Certainly appears to be that way with the win there. We were just talking about it off air as well. I mean, this is a horse that, when he finds form, just continues normally to continue on with that. So it must give you a bit of excitement about this prep.
Yeah, well, he's a horse that we might take to race like the Fitzgerald Plate down at Albany. He doesn't mind a bit of cut in the ground, so he's always been below Saturday, and maybe that run today, he could win a Belmont race come winter time.
So there we go, the Fitzpatrick Plate over the 12:30 or a Belmont race. Your next race, you've got Trap for Fools now. Paul Harvey was engaged. Lee Newman takes the ride now. Last start was beaten 10 lengths, but the blinkers may have been the attribute there. What are we expecting today?
Yeah, well, he trialled with the blinkers and didn't react like that. But he got a bit of a buffet coming out of the gates the other day, and whether he got scared thinking I was riding him, I don't know. But he sort of did fire up a little bit too much. But I thought the run wasn't too bad. The horse that won the race come out and won on a Saturday. So if he can get the Englishman's right, English, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's English, the jockey.
Yep.
So if he can get him to settle somewhere in front, he seems to give it up when he gets headed. So he'll roll along and see what happens.
Let's hope that extra, or the less 400 metres, he can just continue to run it out. Best of luck.
Yeah, this is the longest speech of all time, isn't it?
It's a good chat. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Lindsay Smith there, the winning trainer of Mr. Motown, which has taken out race number 5, the Amelia Park Beef Handicap.